We are live. Good morning from the UK. Good afternoon, Anna,
Hi, good
Ian.
morning.
Hello?
Good morning to you and good afternoon to our guest.
Yes.
Thank you for
So,
joining us today with this first session for the Asian market. Anna has kindly organized it for all of us. Anna?
Maria, can you just speak louder? It's kind of soft on our end.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Can you now hear me?
There.
Yes, we can hear you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's better. Yeah.
Thank you. So again, thank you for joining us. We'll be talking about the ISO standard and why the standard is so important to organizations. So
Mhm.
Anna has kindly organized the session. Welcome everyone. Anna, Elmer, Jan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, welcome. Thank you
Mhm.
for having us here in this show.
Yeah. Thank you, Maria Ana. We are from Value Care Health Systems. So I'm Dr. Elmer Palomata. I manage business relations. And with me is Ian Cristobal, our Deputy COO and Senior Vice President. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Valley Care is a HMO organization in the Philippines, and our industry is providing healthcare coverage for our members here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
And a valued customer of IMSM,
Mhm.
aren't you?
Yes, right,
Of course,
right,
yeah.
right.
What made you work with us, guys, gentlemen?
Oh,
Why did you decide to work with us?
well, we wanted to look for a professional organization that would help us last year guide
Mhm.
us to ISO certification. We wanted somebody who's an expert. We wanted
Mhm.
somebody who can provide us guidance as we started our certification last year.
Mhm.
And it was a very good experience for us because initially there were a lot of challenges as you try to learn
Mhm.
a new system or a new framework. So we're happy with your group as well, that helping us
Mhm.
with our certification or the process of having being certified.
Yeah,
good
we
to
have
see.
been in the business for 25 years. This is our anniversary month, 25 years in the
Yes.
business. And when you Google search, ISO, you would probably find key benefits. It's your vocabulary of profession, like maybe risk assessment, employee improvement, and all. But coming from non QMS professionals such as Ian and me, we'd probably well, coming from an organization with 24 years, no, with no QMS experience. So, soliciting and getting into a partnership, I would say, with IMSM is really, world changing, no, for all our employees here because we have discovered a lot of things, particularly. Well, if I may, get my own vocabulary, I wrote down three things. I wrote order, so that's one, results orientation, and if I may say so, prestige. No, because when you talk about order, people feel good when everything is in place, right? So results orientation, like because there are already parameters in which anyone can measure, and this can be we involve employees, no? The ownership of processes are shared with them, and the third one is prestige. Yeah, it's not. I did not find it in Google search, but when an when an organization is ISO certified, QMS certified, somehow it's an unsung claim that business stature is elevated as well, maybe tenfold at that. I mean, informally outside of the ISO standards.
Thank
Right.
you, Elmer. Many people ask when we start working with them, they ask, do I get more business if I have ISO standards implemented? And this is the initial question, but as you well say, it's much more than just getting more business. You get
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
much more than that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, initially the offshoot is the result of getting more business, but it's a function of having ISO certified it's actually being part. It's actually adding to your competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So being as any organization has a value chain, and when you have a value chain, ISO enhance it in a sense that there's certain standards already per department that is already established. No? So the end product is other organization trust you more. Other organization will appreciate you that because as an organization, you have the discipline to set a standard and follow that
Right.
standard,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously manage your risk as an organization. So the offshoot there is more interaction with customers. Customers would actually would reach out to you more because they appreciate that you have your own quality standards in place.
Actually, it's strategic planning, risk management, supply chain management are essential to
Yes,
your organization, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes, yes,
And I suspect that you also improve your resilience as an organization, which is really important at this moment and elevates your prestige and your image further, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. Just to also add, no, uh, our experience when we had the certification is it actually involved all of our stakeholders from top management even down to our rank and file. So it creates
Yeah.
a linkages not only on a per department but also
Mm-hmm.
from the leadership down to the staff level. So it creates a united effort for all employees in our
Mm-hmm.
organization. So that's one item also that we
Right.
really are happy, no, to have that ISO
Mm-hmm.
certification.
Yeah.
You
That's
have
rallying all our 300 employees into supporting the effort.
You have
absolutely.
two standards with us, right? It's the 9001 and 27001.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct, sir? Elmer? So
Yes,
you
yes,
have,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
well, especially now here in the Philippines, we are now focusing also on the info and data security because of the Data Privacy Act that is
Mm-hmm.
implemented. So it
Yes,
is very important that most companies right now here in the Asian market, especially in the Philippines, are we get a lot of inquiries and a lot of clients right now who is
Mm-hmm.
asking for both the standards. So
right,
and here
Mm-hmm.
Maria can add because she is also an
Mm-hmm.
expert on infra and data security.
Yeah, I happen to be a lead auditor on ISO 9001 and 27001, among a few others. So, what Anna says is really relevant, and you are lucky enough to have implemented and certified 27001 for a very simple reason. Currently, there is a worldwide shortage of information security experts. It is
Mm-hmm.
calculated that nearly 3.5 million experts are currently needed only from a technical perspective. And then furthermore, experts are needed to cover information security management aspect. So, although the standard 27001 is a very high demand at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
few organizations have the ability to quickly adapt and give support to their customers. We are one of those, fortunately
Mm-hmm.
enough. So, I can see how many efforts you have put into this implementation and congratulate you on a work well done, because 27001 is not only a technical standard but also an amazing management standard. The other
Right.
day I calculated the number of controls, and actually less than 40% of the controls are technical. More
Mm-hmm.
than 60% of the controls within 27001 are management related controls. So
Mm-hmm.
this is probably the best, probably not, for sure, the best set of practice available at the international level to organization to protect themselves and their customers and their suppliers as well. How do you
So
feel about 27,001? Did it increase your confidence in your operations and coverage?
Yeah,
yes, yes.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
uh, again, we're also providing services to multinational organization, and as we process membership, there's a lot of information involved, and information security is very crucial in our part. I guess in the industry, we're actually, if not the only one who's certified with 27,000. That's why we're also very proud of that achievement as an organization, because yeah, it shows us the discipline of the organization to be a very uh, stable supplier for our healthcare program.
We're talking about ISO, but maybe it's a good idea for me to explain what does ISO stand for.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, on the one hand, from the beginning, ISO stands for the International Organization for Standardization. And by default, we just talk about ISO standards as management system standards. So, the ISO, as an organization, is an international organization. It was founded in 1946, started operating in 1947. It currently has 166 country members, and in terms of practicalities, actually, its standards are accepted practically in the whole world. It publishes technical standards and management system standards, and we're talking about the management system standards today. So to wrap it up, actually, as an explanation, the ISO as an organization is the entity that provides the best practice available worldwide. And this is why organizations try to implement the standards, because as Ian has just explained, if an organization operates on an international level, they need a way to harmonize all their operations, from purchasing to customer service, through supply chain, legal compliance, regulatory compliance, etc. And the ISO standards actually help organization achieve it. I hope I've been quite clear with the explanation.
Thank you. I think there's a question that how long does it take to implement ISO standard? In your experience, Sir Ian, Sir Elmer, for the both standards, how long did it take to undergo? Because typically it's within 3 to 6 months, depending of how big the company is. But in your case, with
Well, yeah.
the
Mhm.
established company for working for, I mean, operating in so many years already. And
Well, yeah. For a pilot, we piloted into venturing into being certified with the ISO standards. We had to prepare, internally. We called each our departments, we all 13 to 15 departments, and rally them into involving into the effort. So you are correct. We have to prepare 6 months ahead. But for newbies like us, we have to prepare. We would advisable to put a little practice, a little earlier, probably maybe 8, 10 months earlier. So yeah. So but we explored and gave it all for 3 months prior to applying and having certified. But the point there is that time is of the elements, very important, because you have to really invest time and attention into if you are going to take it seriously for your organization.
Yes, indeed, it's very important to evaluate the project well, and the timing depends on different factors. First of all, the size of the organization, and then the standard itself. For instance, 9001 is a standard that can be implemented quite quickly. The 27001 may require quite a lot of time, additional time, because it's a complex, sophisticated, in-depth standard with quite a lot of technical aspects to cover. It also depends on where the standard would be implemented. 9001 is a standard that cover the whole organization, but there are standards such as 27001 that may be implemented in one department only or for one process. Although the process may run throughout the whole organization, we can actually implement 27001 for that particular process if we need to. So it very much depends on the organization, its size, their objectives, as well as the standards. So probably for everyone, the best idea is to do what Value Care did and just talk to us because we can assess, we can advise, and our customers get a clear idea about pricing and timetable. That's that's a valuable asset to have, being able to evaluate resources from financial resources to time related resources and people related resources. It's very valuable when we approach ISO standards. So I'd like just to mention a few things with regards to adoption drivers, because when when I saw 9001 was first published in 1987, yes, March 1987, it's been 25 years now. The standard was seen as something really difficult and not completely necessary to be implemented. Since then, it has been changed several times. Nowadays, we work with a very flexible 9001 standard, last edition from 2015, which allows organizations to quite efficiently adapt it to their needs. 9001, back in 2015, introduced a new structure to which all the standards lately modified were adapted to, which makes it easier for organizations to add new standards to the already existing ones within the organization, which, for instance, you gentlemen saw when you started with 27001 on top of 9001. So the basis, the grounds for your success with information security management were already there. So nowadays, no one discuss how important, no one is doubting about how important 9001 or ISO standards are. On the contrary, we're convinced they are. Uh, I mean that the need to implement them doesn't come within the organization as it used to do, because the organizations know they need it. Nowadays, we have all the adoption drivers, though. Market trends, legal changes, the globalization imposes the need for organizations to start thinking about ISO standards, and not only quality management, but other standards to further support their activities. So for value care, the support translated into 27001. It's important to say that there is no need to start with 9001. It's always good to do it this way. It's much more flexible. But for organizations such as organizations that work on blockchain, doing directly 27001 is something they can think about. So we do have customers in Europe. I personally work with them in the supply chain, sorry, in the blockchain sector, that starts directly with 27001. And again, if you have any doubts, please talk to us. We'll assess, we'll advise, and we'll give you valuable information for you to work further and get support and implement the standards you need. Um, Elmer, Ian, do you would you like to share your opinion on how the certification process went?
Yeah, for us, it's very fair. It's fairly simple. With your help, with your team's help. Initially, we were actually apprehensive as to how we move forward, but with your guidance, with your team's guidance, it doesn't seem as painful as how people would view it. For us, it's just understanding the process and appreciating how it makes sense for our organization. And again, like what Dr. Elmer mentioned, it's really the direction of management to really inculcate the quality mindset, process mindset. So for us, it's very easy. For us, it's actually to some degree it was fun learning actually this ISO 9001 and 27000.
Great feedback. I'm happy to hear that it has been a straightforward process for you, which it should be for everyone. So we aim to provide as much help as possible, and Anna knows. I know how much Anna cares about our customers in the Philippines, and our colleagues elsewhere in Asia do exactly the same. So we're always there for our customers to advise. Something very important to say is that with IMSM, if customers ask for a quick meeting with assessors, technical assessors, just before they make a decision, we make ourselves available to talk to them because we do understand that organizations need much information as possible when they start such implementations because their image, their prestige can be affected if the project is not successful.
Yes, right, agree.
Uh,
So, Miss Maria, I do recall that there is a question on about insurance, the benefit or the impact of insurance on ISO certified companies. Can you tell us about something related to that, like your customers who are ISO certified, and what is the impact of the insurance? Is there a decrease or?
It very much
Yeah.
depends on the standard and on the territory. So I think that Ian and Elmer will
Uh,
some further
mm,
information.
yeah.
But for instance, in many countries, implementing ISO 45001, which is occupational health and safety, reduces the insurance crimes, as well as in the States, 14,001 helps organization reduce their costs with insurance. So, Ian Elmer, can you please add information? It's your sector.
Maybe we can. I heard you mentioning about occupational health and safety. Then that would probably be our next page, which we will be conducting. But I hope Ian can also share with his insights on the insurance impact on our business.
Uh, well, right now, what's important for our organization is to first standardize, just like initialized 9001, and data security is crucial for us as well. That's why 27001 makes sense for us as an organization and as part of our value chain. It's critical for us as well. That's why our initiative was to have certified for this particular two ISO processes. Maybe in the next couple of years, we're looking at other certifications as well. But at this point in the Philippine insurance industry, specifically the HMO, it's still a very young industry wherein the appreciation of quality, because in our case, we are a intangibles product. It's a service. It's not a tangible product. So the appreciation of ISO is critical because it's again what I mentioned a while ago. It translates to a competitive advantage for us. That's how we view it at this point. But hopefully, IC Insurance Commission would uh, standardize it and would come up with certain policies that would require certification or standardization to at least have certain benchmark or quality standards as you operate your business under an HMO or HMO industry.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Elmer. Anna, do we have any further questions? I don't think so. Just to add something to the question about insurance. 27,001 is considered currently. There is a very nice article in the website of the US Center for International Strategic Studies, talking about the need for organizations to start thinking about ISO 27001 because there is a trend in the States to think about harmonizing insurance at information security level. This is early stages. It hasn't been harmonized worldwide. It's down to uh, each insurance company, country, etc., to consider it. But definitely, there are quite a lot of there is quite a good intention to harmonize information security from an ISO standard point of view in order to be able to alleviate the cost, insurance cost to organizations, the same way as 45,001 does with occupational health and safety. Uh, Anna, gentlemen, do we have anything else to discuss? Do you think that we can share anything further with our attendees?
I think for us, we shared and again. We appreciate the process with your group, and like what you mentioned, uh, here in the Philippines, it's more of a competitive advantage. It's more of trying to improve your processes. It's not yet at a stage wherein certain government policies require. It's not required at this point, but for us, we'd rather have it already done so that we are competitive in the market and we can service both multinational and local organizations.
So, yep. If I may mention, on a personal note, with the IMSM, well, for new organizations like ours, venturing into ISO QMS standards. Well, the impression is always, ISO is intimidating. Something to that effect. But when IMSM helped us to understand and see and appreciate the value of ISO in implementing them in organization, it's a complete turnaround. We appreciate it, and the accommodation is very, very impressive. It's not what we expected, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much for working
Thank
with
you.
us and taking care to participate in this live show, live session. We very much appreciate it. And I hope that we can work with you on different sessions as well, maybe
Yes.
in the future. So thank you very much for working with IMSM. We appreciate your trust very much.
Yeah, thank you also.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Mm.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
Anna, shall we ask Caroline from marketing to end the session now?
Yes, Caroline.